Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve. Welcome to Born to Achieve podcast, the show that inspires and motivates you to unlock your full potential and achieve your goals. With your host, Warren Andrew Pinder. Let's get started on this week's episode of Born to Achieve. Born to Achieve.
So it's something even in really outlining our vision, is changing seasons in our lives. How do we adjust? How do we adjust for, for me, when I would have drawn my vision board, I said I wanted to be married at 30. Well, I beat it. I got married when I was 26. But the funny thing about it is, the truth be told, all of the things that I literally drew back in 1998 came to fruition. But you are in a place, and I said the seasons change and things happen. How do you adjust that? Do you hold fast to the vision, or do you add, your new company, your children, family? How do collectively to make it more successful? What do we do? What do we do with that?
Yeah, seasons do change, and we change, and our priorities change. And there's so many people out there who just say, well, I put it on my vision board, so I'm stuck with it for a year. No, you are not.
Yeah.
And this is why that I typically recommend people use and create a physical board versus doing a digital one, because it includes both halves of your brain, where you're writing, but you're also got your hands, touching the kinesthetic learning as well as the auditory or video, whatever other means. If you're looking at your vision board and something just doesn't feel right to you anymore, or you feel as though it's changed to you, I highly recommend you think, okay, what would I like to have as an alternative? Because I don't want to sit here and stare at something for a whole year that I'm not really passionate about anymore. So you can sit down, pen to paper, and just kind of think about it for a little bit, or meditate on it and think about what a better alternative could be. Get that picture or word or hashtag or something you create. Put it over the top of the other one. But what I recommend to people is just leave a little bit of that other one sticking out from underneath.
Yeah.
So it can show your growth.
Yeah.
And this goes, one of the big things that I encourage people to do is create tracking systems on their vision board. Say they have a weight they would like to be at the end of the year. Or in my case, we have a Peloton cycle in my wife's office right above my recording studio.
Yeah.
Last year, I had a goal for 3,000 miles pedaled. So I created a thermometer with 100-mile increments. And every time I'd reach another 100, I'd color it in.
Yeah.
Take a picture, share it with my clients. So it's a living, breathing thing. And if things change, if you look at your board and go, ugh, do something about it, because that's not going to inspire you. That's actually going to shut you down, shut your senses down to being aware of the opportunities, because you're saying in advance, well, I don't want to go down that path. So, well, where do you want to go?
Wow. So basically, like, if I recall, I think I would have achieved all that I had drawn on my vision board. So do I start over, or I just expand it, just keep it evolving? What's the recommendation?
What I suggest to people is when your vision board starts to look like a relief map of South Dakota, where if it's now half an inch thick, start over. Take what you may still be working on. This is why I suggest people do them on an annual basis and not just keep the same one for 10, 15 years.
That's my bad. Okay, I got it.
Yeah. Think of, say, okay, this board, I want to do a year in review. I want to look at this and map out where did I excel? Where did I get frustrated? Where did I struggle? What was maybe a little too easy? So maybe I'm going to set the bar a little higher now. What habits did I develop? What momentum have I created? How is my confidence now that maybe I can go a little bigger on the next board? But we are always a work in progress. As long as we are breathing, we can improve.
Yeah.
And what I also recommend is for people to enjoy the journey. Because, if one of your goals is to eat more vegetables and every day you wake up and you go, oh my gosh, I hate vegetables, it's going to be a tough road. Find vegetables that you can enjoy. Start with those and then add a few. I mean, gosh, every morning, Monday through Friday after my workouts, I do a fruit and vegetable smoothie. I am drinking vegetables that I've never actually eaten in my life because I found a way to enjoy them, because I knew they would help make me a healthier version of myself.
Definitely.
So just keep understanding that we're always growing and we always have potential. So I believe we should stretch ourselves with the boards.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Man, written by Warren Andrew Pinder and Dominique Bradford. This book passionately focuses on the challenges women have been made to go through and how to overcome them. In some cultures, being a woman disadvantages the girl child. This book carefully exposes the hurdles you might face. This masterpiece is the ultimate self-help guide for women. It reveals your true purpose and identity. Get your copy today. Available from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
For our listening audience, how does it ties into our goals? Is there a difference? Are we connecting? Are we connecting them? Are we working on them the same in tandem? Explain. There's some persons may just be new to this, but you know, you've been talking about setting goals for a long time, and then you want to let the vision be clear. You want to write it down.
Yes, most definitely. Going back to where I said, consider where you are right now. Now, you may not be happy where your life is right now. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up over it, but you need to have a point A. If you think of it like a GPS, you can tell the GPS, I want to go to this place. And the GPS is going to ask you, where are you right now? So it can give you the best directions to get there.
Yes, exactly.
Too many people are just wandering around saying, well, I want to be somewhere better than this. Be brutally honest with yourself. Don't beat yourself up over it, but just be honest. Where is my life right now in each of those areas that I mentioned earlier? And then think 1 year from now, how would I like my life to be? Now, don't just write a rating of 10 in every single area, because if you're at a 2 right now in all the areas of your life, a 10 is going to be very overwhelming.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with it, but build up your confidence. So know where you are right now, know where you want to go. And here's a question I ask everybody. What do your goals look like? And they start to describe it and they think that's it. And I said, okay, what do they feel like? Like, how does it feel emotionally? And what do they, if they're physical things, what do they actually feel like? If you were to touch them, describe that for me. They go, oh, okay, good. I go, well, now what do they sound like? Say it's the case of a car. They go, well, or jet, flying. And then they start to laugh a little bit and they're like, what do my goals sound like? And then I say, what do your goals taste like? And what do they smell like? Start to create a story of what it's going to be like when you actually have achieved these goals. And you mentioned a plane or a jet that you had on yours. I've got friends of mine who've said part of their goal is to own or lease a private jet so they don't have to wait.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if I was to own it. If I was to own it, or this is going to be a jet set and fly.
Yeah.
Visit.
So what I've done
around the world, but I know I had a jet.
Yeah. Well, one of my mentors, he's unfortunately has since passed, but one of his goals was to own a jet because he was so tired of waiting and dealing with everybody in the airports. So I created a video. I found an actual picture of the jet he wanted to own. I asked him, what model jet do you want? Right. And he told me. So I found the actual picture. And now I own a recording studio. So I found sound effects of what it sounds like inside of a jet when the jet engines are idling on the runway. And I asked him the colors he wanted to have and the material and the fabric. I created a video for him of the picture of his jet with the sound of the engines idling with me as the voice of the captain, sounding like a cockpit announcer, describing the jet, describing him, describing the people who were on the jet, which he handpicked to be part of the journey, the food we were going to have, and how we were going to do a barrel roll and dump all the blue toilet water on the roofs of all the people who said he could never do it. So it became a funny recording.
The thing, when we speak about like vision, all these things that you said, right? And a jet, plane. I had a motorbike for my vision board too, which my mom made me get rid of. But when we speak about seeing it, touching it, tasting, that's belief. That's knowing that this is going to come to pass.
Yeah. And
you're just attracting yourselves. Like you said, in The Secret, and those who still would have watched the movie The Secret, you're a magnet, and these things will be drawn to you once you believe. For our young listeners, right? It's never too young to start. I want you to teach them to tell them how can they begin to put this practices in their lives.
Yeah. I saw, oh my gosh, this question is perfectly timed. I saw on Sunday, a young girl, probably about 4 years old, was standing up in the shopping cart, helping her dad. She was lifting up the gallon of milk and she could barely hold it. And she goes, "Daddy, take it." And he put it into the car. And I just thought that was so amazing that she was helping him to do that. And I had in my pocket a $20 gift card to that particular grocery store. And I went over and introduced myself because my family and I have a small nonprofit that we started dedicating to acts of kindness.
Right.
When you see somebody who is trying to improve themselves or adding positive value to the world, it's a great thing to acknowledge it because it gets them to want to do that behavior even more. So I went over and I first offered to return the carriage for them so he wouldn't have to walk and leave his little girl in the car. And then I said, "I've got this for you. Next time you go to the grocery store, here's $20 to buy whatever you like." And he showed it to his little girl and said, "You see that? You were helping Daddy and doing a good thing, and this man saw it,
Wow.
and he gave us this." And she looked at it because she's only 4. She goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "Honey, this is ice cream next time we come to the store." And so, of course, I want to create a bigger, deeper vision and a connection, right? So I asked her, I said, "What's your favorite ice cream?" And her eyes got really big, and she looked at me and she said, "Pink."
Wow.
And I just said, "Well, next time you come," I said, "you be helpful for Daddy again, and now he can get you some pink ice cream." And the father shook my hand and said, "Thank you so much." And what a great moment it was to do that. So if you've got children, or if you've got kids in your family, or maybe in your work, watch the little really good things they do and reinforce those things, even with just a word of praise or a bit of a celebration, or "I'm proud of you," or "You deserve to be proud of yourself. Look what you just did. That was wonderful." That's a good way to help people to understand that when they want to create the vision for their best selves, reinforce the little actions that you see them doing that you know will eventually get there, even if they don't know why they're doing it yet.
Wow.
Single those out. And I hope she enjoys her pink ice cream when she and her dad.
So do I. So do I.
Now for a commercial break.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
Share with us, if you can, a success story of someone that you know would have used your, or not your method, but just use a vision board to become successful. Or, I mean, it takes more than just a vision board, but actually helping planning their success.
Yeah. My favorite example ever. And this young lady works for a company that I've spoken now for every January for 17 years. I teach their entire company. Just refresher on vision boards. And she came to me after one of the events. This is about 6 years ago now. She said, "Steve, I have a goal, but I don't quite know how to go about doing it." And she lives here in New England, Northeast United States. And she said, "I want to go on a safari in Africa, but I don't know how to create it as a vision." So we got on a call and I said, "Okay, how much is it going to cost?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, call a travel agent, get some brochures, and find out how much it's going to cost. So that way you know what point B is." And she found out it was going to cost $10,000. So I said, "How long do you think it would take you to save that much money in addition to paying off all your other bills and taking care of all the other goals on your board?" She said, 2 years. Okay. Now she works for a company that they have a lot of in-home events and expos and things like that. So I said, "You got to really step up your game to get better at doing the events and promoting the events and doing all of that." So she did. She went from being number 20 something in sales. 2 years later, she was number 2 in the whole company.
Wow.
And she saved all $10,000. And I also asked her, "Who can you share your goal with that will get excited and cheer you on?" She says, "Oh my gosh, everybody on my team and all my clients and everybody in the company." I said, "Then please do that." She did a Facebook Live talking about her goal. And all of a sudden she started receiving all these gifts uh,
Wow.
a pen set with all the African, jungle animals on it. Her favorite is a giraffe. She got stuffed animal giraffes. I sent her 2 giraffe stickers for her shower, a mama and a baby giraffe. They're still there to this day, and she puts her hand on them every time she sees them.
Wow.
Now, COVID got in the way of this trip. It's been canceled and rescheduled several times. I believe she is going later this year.
Wow. The thing is, with the advent of the internet, you're able to really envision through travel. You can go and visit a lot of places and see exactly where you want to go. If you want to go to Thailand, if Singapore, wherever it is that you may want to go, you can go and learn and research that. And a part of that is what we're talking about, is actually seeing the vision of where I want to be, or where I would like to visit. This is all, it's just practicing it every day, making steps every day toward whatever that vision that you may have. I'm listening to you. And it's unique, right? Because you said something like how you encouraged her to share. And one of the visions for Achieve Movement Inc. is for others to sit and share their dreams, aspirations, that others may be inclined to want to do the same. And that is what we encourage. We encourage that you may be motivating me today, or our listeners, and that they too can share your vision, share, what you spoke about through your vision board mastery program. And this is something, give us some information about persons who may want to know more about it, how they can contact you, how they're able to maybe acquire your upcoming courses or something. Just share with us what you offer.
Yeah, you can learn about my program and some of the details about it, and also see testimonials if you go to visionboardspecial.com. That goes right to my website. Or you can find me on social media. Mainly, I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. If you just look up my name, Steve Gamlin, Gamlin. I'm always dropping tips and tactics there as well, and daily posts and lessons of how this is working, not only in my life, but in the lives of some of the people that I just love to work with. And sometimes, it only takes one little thing. I call it making ripples. You can make a ripple in a body of water and walk away, and that ripple is just going to keep on going. We've made so many ripples here just with this conversation. We have no idea where these ripples are going to go. And so that's what I try to do with my website, with my programs, and on social media as well.
Oh, certainly. That's like, I say, skipping a rock across the ocean, and you just see it, and you see the ripples it just causes that ripple effect to go, and you don't know what you're creating, the energy, the vibe that you're creating. Share us today's tip. With what you just give us today's tip.
Today's tip, just remember, life is like an old wooden roller coaster. You don't want to go from the bottom to the top just like that. You go click, 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 click. And first thing in the morning, what I suggest to people, look at that person in your mirror, and I'm going to borrow from Mel Robbins on this one. Give that person a high five. The High Five Habit is a Mel Robbins book. And then just say, how am I going to click today? And then tell yourself, what one thing are you going to do today to get just one step closer to just one of your goals? Don't overwhelm yourself. Just think, what one click, so that when I go to bed at night and I high five myself again, what am I going to be grateful for that I did or achieved, or conversation I had, or connection tonight? In my gratitude journal, I'm going to write down that I got to have this conversation with you today.
Oh, great.
We have no idea where the ripples will go, but this has just been such an enjoyable conversation for me. So thank you.
And and I'm going to add to what you just said. When you high five, you look in the mirror, you know that you were born to achieve greatness. So Steve, it's been excellent having you on this episode of our podcast. We look forward. I definitely want to, offline, have a word with you and contact with you, stay in contact to make sure in any which way, let's help one another to share, the achievements that we're making, that others may be inclined to do the same. Thank you very much. It's been another episode of the Born to Achieve podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Born to Achieve. We hope you found it informative, inspiring, and motivating. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and family. Stay focused on your goals, and we'll see you on the next episode of Born to Achieve.
Take advantage of this incredible opportunity. Sign up today and claim your free ebook at www.borntoachievegreatness.com. Follow us on Facebook at Achieve Movement Inc. Get your copy of Exploring Achieveland, A Journey to Realize Your Dreams, Motivational Stories of Kindness, Inspiring Stories for Kids on Amazon and Kindle.